I don't know about you, but these days my memory is like an iPhone battery. It starts strong in the morning, but by 3 p.m. it's completely dead. Meetings, calls, random ideas, gone. And that's why I started using this little gadget that remembers everything for me. I've been using the credit card sized Plaud Note since the early crowdfunding days, and I enjoyed reviewing their wearable NotePin last year too. And that means I've had years to put this little thing through its paces when it comes to helping me record, transcribe, and then summarize all the things that I need to remember. But now Plaud have released a brand new product, the Note Pro. I've got an early first look at this, and this video is here to give you an honest comparison of both products and help you decide which of these is best for you. Before we get into that, I am conscious that there will be some viewers who don't know what either of these things are, and yeah, Mike, I see you. Well, Plaud is probably the best AI meeting secretary for busy professionals. This little device attaches itself to the back of your phone, and then with the press of a button, it'll record everything that's said on a call and also capture anything from an in-person meeting too, including what you say, hear, see, and think. And that is assuming you've done your thinking out loud. It doesn't read your mind. Now, once you've got a recording, the Plaud app will make you a set of meeting notes, including a summary, highlights, and to-dos to make it easy to share them with whoever needs to see them. Now, of course, there are other phone apps that will let you do these things, but unlike your phone, it won't run out of battery if you're recording for hours on end. A bit more on that later. And it also helps you stay focused and present on your calls and meetings. They've also built AI into the app to let you chat with your past conversations, and because you can train it to learn all your weird industry jargon, it's really good at understanding you in complete context. So let's get straight into it. What does the Pro actually add over the original Plaud Note? Because to me, the original device is already pretty pro. Well, to answer this, I think it helps to think of the original Plaud Note as a bit like a standard iPhone. It's solid, dependable, and it does everything most people need from a device. As for the new Plaud Note Pro, well, that's your iPhone Pro model. Same DNA, same core idea, but with extra polish, extra power, and a good few, oh, that's nice, upgrades that you didn't think you needed until you start using them. And then like me, you'll probably find it's a bit hard switching back. So if you just want reliable recording and all that app-based goodness, the original Plaud Note will serve you fine. It's perfect for shorter meetings or personal note-taking. If you want higher performance and a smoother overall experience, or if you're wanting something to use in much longer meetings where lots of people are speaking, the Pro is probably where it's at. Now, let's take a look at why. Now, on unboxing, you can see that the hardware in the Pro model has had a bit of a facelift. It's the same dimensions as the original Note, but it's got a much more premium feel, and there's this rather lovely glossy black top on the Pro. And this does more than look good, because look at this, it's actually a tiny AMOLED display. And when you first switch it on, it displays a QR code to help you connect to the Plaud phone app, but this also displays other things like the status of any recordings, battery life, and also file transfer progress. It's functional, but it's also very nice to look at. Now, speaking of battery life, this new Pro model has got a standby time of 60 days, and it will give you up to 50 hours of non-stop recording on a single charge. That's compared to 30 hours of recording on the original. And to be honest, both are very impressive considering how tiny these things are. But if you're one of those people who spends all their time in meetings or on the phone, you might just find you'll want that extra recording time when you need it. So you'll have fewer interruptions and more reliable recording, and then you can also easily check your battery status on the Note Pro. If you want to do that on the original Note, you're going to have to go into the app settings for all of that. You'll also notice that compared to the original, there's no more physical toggle button on the Pro. In the original, you have to switch this toggle on in order to put the device in call recording mode before you slap it onto your phone. And doing this uses vibration conduction to get a really good recording on phone calls, and then if you're in person, you can flick it back the other way to engage the microphones on the device. On the Pro, it doesn't have a toggle because it just automatically detects whether or not you're on a call and does its thing. Pretty cool. In practice, this is a good quality of life improvement. It's one less thing to think about, as I often used to pick up the phone and then be fumbling around with this switch while the person on the other end was just waiting for me to pick up or say hello. And when it is listening, you will find that there is improved audio quality and noise reduction on the Note Pro because it's packing 4 mics as compared to the 2 on the original. I'm going to test these out later on so you can hear the difference for yourself. And the Note Pro also debuts a new command, so as well as pushing this button to start and stop recordings, you can also short press the button during a recording to highlight a 30-second moment. If you're the sort of person who has really lengthy meetings, this is a really good way to ensure that you can skip to the good bits if you ever need to review the recording. Now, another feature is being able to take a picture and then insert it into the Plaud app while recording. This is an absolute game changer for visual meetings or lectures and conferences. So when you trigger a summary in one of these multimodal notes, the Plaud app will provide a highly contextual summary that reflects everything that it's seen and what it's heard. Oh, another thing, the Plaud Note Pro also has Apple Find My built in, so if you're like me, you're prone to losing tiny credit card shaped things. I love how many devices are getting this feature now. It's a really good thing to have a peace of mind that you should be able to track this down pretty easily if you ever lose it. Now, if you're a power user and you're already thinking that you might be pro enough for this new device, I bet there are two things that you'll really care about here. The first one is transfer speeds, and I have to admit, on a busy day of meetings, I often don't transfer the audio at the same time, so I might end up with multiple files that take a while to transfer before I can get the software working on transcribing and summarizing my meetings. So I was really interested to hear that they've updated the speed with the Plaud Note Pro, so much so I decided to test out a 25-minute meeting recorded on both devices to see the difference. So the standard Plaud Note did this over Bluetooth in 2 minutes 44 seconds. Not bad. Plaud Note Pro, however, transferred it so quickly I didn't even have time to start my stopwatch. It was just sat there, ready for me in the app, for me to run my transcript and summary. So why was the Plaud Note Pro so much faster? Well, it has an upgrade on the Bluetooth, and if you run it through Wi-Fi transfer, as I was with this example, it will use 5 gigahertz, and it really is lightning fast. Now, I've been using both of these alongside each other for about a week now, and it's become clear to me that whilst both of them are great for in-person meetings, the Plaud Note Pro is ideal for boardroom style discussions, team meetings, and just generally more complex conversations with lots of moving parts. It just does a better job of capturing voices with some precision, even in busy or noisy environments where you might be a fair distance from the device. And you might ask, well, why is that? Well, in my testing, the new 4-mic array captures a lot of detail that you don't get with the regular Plaud Note with its dual mic setup. So if you pop this in a meeting room or a lecture hall, or in my case, that coffee shop where the espresso machine sounds like a rocket launch, the microphones capture voices clearly while filtering out lots of background noise. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here I am in one of my favourite coffee shops in York, and here's the level of ambient noise at the moment. As you can tell, it's quite noisy, it's pretty rowdy, there's coffee being made, and there's people kind of clattering about. There's actually a bakery right behind me. So this is a really good place to test out how these devices perform in like a natural, ambient, noisy environment. See what I mean? So this is a recording taken directly on the standard Plaud Note with the device on the table in front of me. There's no tweaks or anything applied here. This is the raw audio. It's also worth noting that if you're using either of these, there is actually a software feature that lets you adjust the amount of noise isolation in the app, but that is an extra step that you'd need to take. Now let's have a look at how the Note Pro copes with the same environment. So next, this is a recording taken directly from the Plaud Note Pro in the same spot on the same day. And again, I've not made any tweaks in the audio here, but hopefully you can hear the difference between these two recordings. Now, to my ears, and I've compared quite a few of these now, it's a bit like the difference between a compressed Zoom call recording and just listening to someone speaking to you in a quiet room. It's noticeably less tinny and compressed, and it's far easier to hear the voices above any other background noise in the room. I even tried testing out the limits of this, so I put both devices about 5 meters away and read out my daughter's favourite book to see if it picked me up.
We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared.
Now, all being well, you're not going to be 5 meters away from your device when you're recording something, but if you were, for example, in a big meeting room, this is going to do a really great job of picking up the audio when you need it to. Now, alongside the launch of the Plaud Note Pro, the Plaud app is getting a big update that looks much cleaner and is overall much faster too. There's a preview shown here, and the official version, I think, is coming in October. There's also going to be some third-party integrations coming too, which basically means that you can start pushing transcripts or summaries straight into Notion, Slack, Gmail, or whatever your favorite note-taking app is without needing to take the steps of manually exporting them and then saving them on the other side. There's also multimodal input coming, and that means that you can upload things like type notes or images through the companion app or via the web browser. You can also activate that highlight feature that I was just talking about. Now, all of that means that if you're revisiting a recording, you can sync up what was being seen at the time to help jog your memory a little easier. Pretty cool. The best thing is both the Note Pro and the original Plaud will be getting all these updates, which is great. The main differences between them are in their hardware. Now, if you haven't seen any of my other Plaud videos, you'll know I'm a massive nerd about privacy laws and data protection. I'll spare you all the details as they are over on Plaud's site now, but they are fully compliant with the likes of SOC 2, GDPR, HIPAA, and EN 18031. Now, I used to run a business involved in data collection, so I have some idea of the work involved in getting these. It's a huge number of hoops to jump through, believe me, and these guys clearly hold themselves to a pretty high standard on the privacy front. Now, all that being said, don't record people without telling them, because in some countries it's straight up illegal, and even where it isn't, it's just good manners, all right? You've been warned. Now, you might ask, isn't this just an incremental update to this one? And that's a fair question, because in a way, it is. If you're happy with your current Plaud Note and you just use it casually, the Pro isn't going to completely change your life. But if you live with this device, like if you're recording multiple calls a day, managing projects with lots of transcripts, and just like having the best version of a tool you already love, I'd say the Pro probably makes the most sense. The other thing here is that those incremental updates that we're seeing here, like the bigger battery and the new screen and better audio, all lead to quite a big quality of life change for a power user. After all, time is money, and these upgrades help make things much more reliable and much more convenient. Coming back to a metaphor from earlier on in the video, think of it like upgrading from a standard iPhone from a few generations ago to the very latest bleeding edge Pro phone. These are both still metal cards. They're not going to be completely revolutionary, but with the new Plaud Note Pro, everything is smoother, faster, and just a bit more future-proof. So let's talk money. The Note Pro launches at $179. That's only a $20 bump over the original Plaud Note price. I think that's really not bad at all, considering the hardware and feature gains you're going to be getting here. The standard Plaud Note is still available, and it is cheaper, so if you just want the basics, you can absolutely stick with that. But if you want the screen and better audio quality and a longer battery life, I'd say the Pro is probably the one to get for the sake of $20 extra. Now, whichever one you go with, in the box you're going to get the device, a MagSafe case, and the charging cable, plus 300 minutes a month of transcriptions, which I think is pretty great. Now, if you're not into the standard black case that comes in the box, they do also sell a bunch of others in different colors too, and because they're the same size, they'll fit both versions of the Plaud Note. Now, not many people mention this, but even on the free plan, you can also import your own audio files into the app, even if they weren't recorded on Plaud, which is a pretty cool hidden bonus if you're already using something like Teams or Zoom to record online meetings. Because let me tell you, the auto summaries on both of those apps are pretty rubbish. If you do need any more than 300 minutes, you probably want to upgrade to one of their membership plans, either Pro or Unlimited. These bring in the AI chat, things like adding your own glossary terms, tons more professional templates to choose from, of course, and many more of those meeting minutes. Now, if you're not interested in a subscription, but you just need more minutes, that's fair enough. They just let you buy minutes in blocks of 600, 3,000, or 6,000 instead. Now, I've worked with the team to get you the best possible price on the Plaud Note Pro if you follow my link, and also I've dropped a special discount for this standard edition Plaud Note for you too. Both of them are down in the description when you're ready. Folks, I hope that gave you enough information about which of these you might want to buy if you're into leveling up your note-taking abilities. If there's anything I missed, just let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have. Now, in the meantime, if you're wondering what else you can do with the Plaud Note, I made a whole video full of advanced tips right over here. See you next time, folks.